Hi, have you been shopping lately? No, not online shopping, but into the high street shopping. The shops can reopen as of today. I did. I came back with some batteries for our television remote. That seems to have been used rather a lot lately. And I bought some face masks. It seemed the prudent thing to buy. Oh, and a sun canopy for the garden. Whatever you do, don't let on to my wife, but I'm sure she never watches these videos. She just thinks I wander about in the garden a lot, and she's right. Anyway, have you received a deluge of emails from various retailers telling you that they're reopening and trying to woo you and your wallet or purse to come and visit them? Have you found yourself tempted, excited even, or maybe apprehensive at the prospect of venturing forth after so many months of not being able to, or not even needing to? Or do you feel it's too early and you need to shelter at home a little longer? Let me know down in the comments below. In this video we're going to explore what for the retail industry has been a long time coming, the reopening of the high street. So welcome to COVID Faith, a series of almost daily videos started during the lockdown of the 2020 COVID pandemic. A conversation between me and yourselves via the comments section below about all sorts of faith and life topics raised during our journey through these unusual and sometimes challenging times. So am I the only one who's noticed that the country is at sixes and sevens ever since the opening up has been mooted? We transitioned into lockdown way back in March. God, feels like a long time ago. It was tricky to begin with, and we muddled through, we found our feet, and we got the hang of it. But then talk of unlocking began, and then followed the changes, the ground shifting subtly under our feet with each daily briefing. First VE Day, then the Dominic Cummings debacle, the rush to the beaches over the late May bank holiday weekend, the back to school, not back to school, to and fro, the creation of household bubbles, and now the opening up of the retail sector of the economy. Each change small in its own way, but it seems to me that together they have shifted the feel or the mood of the country. I've had a link up above to a video where I explored the notion that we are all in this together. A look at how we all have a part to play, how we're all bound together. Check it out if you've got time. Lately though, I've been waking up at odd times and then going back to sleep only to wake up at the right time feeling less than refreshed. And thinking about it, I've been less consistent with my video uploads to this channel during that time too. It's hard to write creatively when my head is tired and all topsy-turvy. So it's time to reflect, time to take a breath and say, okay God, what's going on here? And what can I learn from you about me and from me about you? And here's what struck me today. The Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer? Yes, but with a twist. Have you ever considered it as the shopper's prayer? So the shopper's prayer, we find it in Matthew chapter 6. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So it's literally a prayer that's grounded. It's about the here and now, day to day, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. So it's specific and bounded. It's asking for just enough for today. And forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. Well, that's sound monetary advice if ever I'd heard it. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Prudence for these uncertain times? Definitely. The Lord's Prayer then teaches us to come to God in a spirit of humble dependence, asking Him to provide what we need and to sustain us from day to day. We're not given license to ask for great riches, unlike some who preach a gospel of prosperity, but we are encouraged to make our needs known to him, trusting that he will provide. As the country continues to reopen, may God give me and you what we need for today. Yes, our daily bread, food, essential supplies, etc., but also the resources that we need to face each changing day with its ever-evolving challenges and adjustments. Today, God answered that prayer for me when a friend unexpectedly pulled up on our drive on their way home. They stayed in their car and we chatted at a distance for no more than 5 minutes or so before they went on their way again. But there in that interaction, they were my daily bread, and for that I thank them and God. Where I live, I think of local fruit and veg suppliers and butchers who set up delivery services that meant that those sheltering could enjoy fresh, quality produce. With uncertainties over food origins and standards in the future, buying locally might be the only way that we can be assured of the provenance of what we eat. A case of potentially paying a little bit more now or pay with our health later. When you look back over the toughest days of lockdown, which were the local companies that went above and beyond to keep essential items stocked? Might you consider rewarding them with your patronage in the future, knowing that by doing so, you are supporting not only the local but also the national economy, that you're bolstering employment, and that you're lowering your and our dependence on vulnerable food production chains. Sadly, some businesses didn't make it through lockdown. They folded. My favourite Italian cafe is no more, something that makes me sad. If you know of a small business that has closed its doors forever, remember that behind those doors, in every case, there will be people that have poured their heart and soul and probably a lot of hard-to-come-by finance into that venture. People who right now are in a dark place. Can you find a way to send a simple message of support or gratitude? The high street has been changing for some time now, and I think lockdown has accelerated that. With every passing year, more and more business is conducted online. Many people use going to the shops as a leisure and a social activity, as well as a time to get essentials. It's a chance for them to meet friends, as well as to forget about the day-to-day for an hour or two. What might you do that will encourage people to be social creatures and so enable the bonds of society to flourish? I'm thrilled to see some from one of my local churches who have decided that twice a week they will meet up in the local park for an natter. It's not just the teenagers doing it anymore. If the group grows too big, they will break into smaller groups. I wonder if newcomers can be welcomed and actively encouraged to join in. Let me know your thoughts on these questions down in the comments. Your thoughts about supporting local businesses. Your thoughts about reaching out to those businesses that have closed. And your thoughts about enabling society to flourish. Subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and most importantly, join in the discussions down in the comments below. Stay safe, folks, and live love.